everybody. Welcome back to the Moose Club. First episode here in a little while. Some interesting things going on in the political landscape. This episode, we're going to talk a bit about Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York. He's has come under fire here recently with some sexual harassment allegations. I think it's up to 3 now, last I saw. Sadly, it seems to be the typical stuff that old dudes are getting in trouble for frequently. Like, he asked some economic staffer if she'd ever slept with older men, which is problematic when you're an older man in a position of power, asking that to somebody who works underneath of you. And then the other one I saw was this photo's kind of gone viral a little bit, but he was had his hand on the exposed lower back of a woman at some event, and then held her face and asked if he could kiss her. He's saying that there's tons of photos of him doing that because that's just how he greets everybody, which probably should just be smarter. So he had a press conference today essentially saying acknowledging that he was wrong and that he realizes that now and that he's sorry, and it's embarrassing, and that he didn't mean anything bad by it, and then said he's not going to resign. So that's kind of where it stands now. I'm of the belief that he's going to resign. I don't think this is going to go away. I think this is probably going to just keep building, and I think he's going to have to resign. But we'll see. What do you guys think of just for anybody who's cancel culture is all, it's not like it's just Republicans that are getting, canceled by, when I think of people saying cancel culture, I think of it generally as people being mad about somebody, like the backlash they're receiving. But this seems, in my mind, to be pretty warranted. So anyway, what were your guys' kind of thoughts on this, all this coming out, and if you guys caught his news conference today, his reaction to it and his first public comments about it? What you guys think, Bork?
I think so you have to keep in mind that all of this comes in the context of him also being in the midst of a pretty big scandal involving the nursing homes and the reporting of COVID deaths in nursing homes, and the allegations that the fact that one of the big donors essentially got blanket immunity in nursing home, essentially liabilities, COVID deaths in nursing homes, and some favorable massaging of the numbers. That's kind of where that is where this scandal originates. And that's all in the backdrop of him the entire previous year. I don't remember what award he won, but I think he won an Emmy or something for the daily COVID briefs that he was given or was giving at the time last year. A kind of chummy interview with his brother on CNN. So that's all in the background of these kind of dual scandals breaking in fairly rapid succession of another. So I did happen to catch the press conference that he gave today, and it was interesting that you're right, he used that for that kind of, heading it off at the past that, oh, there's hundreds of photos out there of me doing this, which, hey man, wait, what? Is that what you really want to be saying right now, given just because what that picture does at best case scenario looks kind of creepy.
Oh yeah, because she looks scared, she looks uncomfortable, and
right, everybody's probably seen, or you could easily find what the picture looks like. I
Yeah, I'll
mean,
throw it up. I'll throw it up here.
right. And, aside of him being, the governor of the state of New York and all of that, it's just obviously, it seems that he has gotten, I don't know, a free pass for a lot of these things. And why haven't people dug into stuff like these or followed up allegations like these in the past? And it's like, well, you see those kinds of interviews that are given to him in the media and stuff like that. So, it's a black eye for a lot of different people. Like the Democrats, like Andrew Cuomo, like the media. I mean, it just makes a lot of people look bad just how chummy they were with him, and he kind of has dual crises with, one kind of cultural thing and another a very real, present day issue with, you know, COVID reporting of statistics and government transparency and accountability, which aren't really, those aren't pillars that Democrats are apparently trying to breach on at the moment. And he just did those. So I mean, I don't think he's going to resign personally, but maybe they do just leave him out to dry. And but I don't think that's going to happen personally.
Yeah. What are your kind of just general thoughts on it, Joe?
I think it's a multifaceted ordeal that kind of, I think each thing has to be kind of separated. First of all, if any woman has, any kind of, accusation that he did anything inappropriate with them, those accusations should be heard. They should be investigated. I think that they're going to do investigations on the allegations they do. Personally, coming from a Italian family, I've seen this type of greeting before. So I'm kind of numb to it. I understand he's an old guy in power with a young lady. That's fine. I hear that out. Investigate it. Take all you want to do. I'm fully behind it. Secondly, completely opposite. And I want to make clear that there is space and difference in this. I don't want to hear a fucking Republican say a damn word about it, because they have gone full bore on going after this guy when for 4 years they tried to say a videotape of a president saying that he likes to grab women by their, everybody knows, and like excused it, called it fake, blah, blah, blah. So yes, there is a very legitimate and serious point to all these allegations, but also I think it needs to be called out how bullshit the political bias of this is.
Yeah.
Al Franken got his career ended because he took a photo where he didn't touch anybody. And now you have stupid people like Kristen Gillibrand coming out on TV saying that he should resign and Bill Clinton should have resigned and, Donald Trump should have resigned. And then all of a sudden you have everybody on the right piling on Andrew Cuomo while they just excused everything for 4 years. I don't want to hear the political argument about it. State of New York, investigate the allegations, take care of that. Whatever comes of that, let's make a decision from there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a good point. Like, I mean, yeah, like everybody, I mean, I think everybody is on the same page. Like even Cuomo, like I'm reading this quote here. I fully support a woman's right to come forward. And I think it should be encouraged in every way. Like, yeah, like if it's just the level of hypocrisy to now all of a sudden. I mean, it's the same thing. Like the hypocrisy of the Republicans on this is similar to who's the budget person that Biden wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Republicans are all of a sudden now like now they're on Twitter and now they see what people are tweeting and they're all upset about. But every time Trump would tweet something, I didn't see it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Like, so I mean it's politics. I get it.
I mean, they just had a big like meeting together with CPAC and the whole. I mean, you can watch on Now This Politics. The whole fucking thing was about like cancel culture. That was their big thing. The cancel culture, the indoctrination of America. You know, just full rails fucking culture wars. And then now they're trying to. I mean, they canceled freaking Neera Tandem because she said mean things about Ted Cruz and other Jacquelines. Like, get out.
Yeah.
I know, like, argue Neera's freaking right and argue like what way Twitter should be involved in public policy. That's fine, but like, I don't want to hear a damn Republican talk about it.
Right. No, I get it. So I guess I don't understand like, well, I understand how because of the reasons are pretty obvious, but like how is it that these people in power, these like ostensibly like intelligent people keep doing these things? Like Andrew Cuomo is not a dumb person. Like he like how does he not understand? And I'm not sure the timeline of all these, but like I know the one was last year, like the picture thing. Like, how do you not understand the climate that we live in and like wrap your head around like, hey, like I shouldn't be doing this. Like I need to be aware of these things. Like I don't understand how these people keep doing this shit.
You just don't think the rules apply to you. I mean, and to a certain degree, like you have a lot of people around you that will give you cover and not only give you cover, but fight battles in the arena of public opinion, which as a politician is really important for you. So, yeah, I mean, like until I don't know, aside from like real consequences for people, like it really is like the meme word of the moment is accountability. Because people do obviously bad things right now. Like we've seen it to the past administration and to a certain degree now. And there's just no way to hold people accountable anymore. Like things just come to pass and like, you just whether it's just not just voting to not legitimize one election or another incident, like whatever it happens to be, like that happens and then we just move forward with it and it doesn't matter. So like yeah, like unless like no one's gonna vote Cuomo out, like he's probably pretty safe in New York. Like I don't imagine anybody running against him, so like he'll run in New York as long as he wants to. So I don't know. Like that's if you want stuff like this to not happen, then I don't know. Like hold our elected officials to a higher standard. I guess like there's not a lot of not much better advice that you can get, but that's the only thing that really to be said right now.
You know what else I thought when all this was unfolding was I remember there was a period last year when COVID was going on and still going on, but when Cuomo was given the briefings every day and I was like, man, this is who I know Biden committed to a female vice president, but like this is who he should pick as his running mate. And boy, how bad of a decision would that look now had he gone that route? Like, can you imagine? Like, it's a big deal now. Like, it's taking up a good chunk of the news cycle. But I mean, imagine if he was the vice president and this was going on.
Like, that's partially the thing that I don't know. Like, it seems like that should be a bigger aspect of it. Is like, why are these people just now feeling comfortable to come out with it just now? Like not only did it happen a year ago that like an environment existed that these people didn't feel comfortable coming forward until now. Like that's also seems to be kind of problematic for at least a post Me Too environment for a Democratic governor to have created in like the state of New York. Like, I mean, that just seems to be so problematic on so many levels that, yeah, it is pretty damning that, I don't know, his press conference today was not very awe-inspiring or reassuring that
Yeah, like
these things have no basis in like just missed or misinterpreted gestures, I guess.
right.
I didn't feel more engendered to that argument after
And
this
that's kind of
today's press conference.
like, do I believe he had any? Did he mean to make these women uncomfortable? I probably not. I don't think so. I think kind of like what Joe was talking about. I think it's largely a at least in the last example, like a culture thing that just, like times change and some things just aren't acceptable anymore. But yeah, like what I got from his press conference today was, oh, I realized I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm going to be better for it. But I don't think that cuts it. Like, I don't think that's good enough. Like, like saying I'm sorry doesn't like doesn't just absolve you of, anything that you did wrong. Like, so
To be fair, this is the answer Joe Biden gave when the whole thing about him giving hugs and kisses to women that felt uncomfortable with him. That's the exact response he gave. Was, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. And I'm learning from my mistakes. So I don't understand why it wouldn't be acceptable for Cuomo to say that.
yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a good point. I mean, I think
once again, I
good.
just like with Kavanaugh, some people took it to the extreme. I think we all admit that. But like,
I mean, the Democratic Party took it to the extreme.
have the fucking investigation and then let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Like,
but that doesn't make for good headlines. And
no, I mean we can talk about it, but I'm just saying, like, even like the way some like us three are phrasing it, oh, this stuff that is happening, this powerful man was, taking advantage of. I mean, I don't know. I've grown up in families where you get hugs like this from Christmas every time. And not saying that's right. Homo should learn for like.
Yeah, I think the dynamic between you and your family and you and your subordinates at work is completely different. So I don't think that, oh, I do this and my family does it one way. I don't think that argument really holds too much weight in this instance.
Sexual harassment and sexual assault doesn't matter who it is doing it to you.
Right. And in the workplace, it's even more amplified. So that argument carries even less weight.
I agree with that. Let's have the investigation.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think the problem is that the reaction to the two cases is completely different.
Yeah. Well, that's
between the Kavanaugh case and then between the Biden cases and now Cuomo's case.
Yeah.
That's where the quote unquote hypocrisy is.
It's not different. If you're a senator of the Democratic Party and Vice President Biden swearing you in, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing with the Cuomo thing going on. Like all of the incidents aren't like equal. Like the last incident, like I can wrap my head around that and understand, like, oh, like, yeah, he shouldn't have done that, but like I can understand like why he did that, and like, that's the culture he was raised in. Like that's how it's just the way he's interacted with people his whole life. Like I get that. The first one is the one in my mind that I think is like, under no circumstances that I can think of is it acceptable to ask a younger female subordinate of yours, have you ever slept with older men? Like that,
no. If he said that, yeah, that's a little bit different than grabbing somebody by the waist and saying, "Can I kiss you on the?"
Right. Yeah. Like there's context.
Yeah, it's a complete like cultural age difference. Now, yes, if he asked a younger woman that's a subordinate of him if like reference that, you know, they might want to sleep together. Like, yes, that's red line crossed. I agree with that.
The other
that's what we're talking about here.
Okay.
And what you're saying was essentially his defense. What you're saying is essentially his defense today. In the press conference, he essentially said that, like, yeah, like, hey, like, this is how I greet people in my family.
Guys, we're talking about a picture. So let's get it out there. I was
right. And who is that lady?
responding to him greeting her with a hug on the waist. Yes, it comes off wrong. I get that. I'm not saying it doesn't, but there is intent in context of what he's doing.
I agree.
So outside of the picture, if he asked her to have sex or hinted at having sex with him, like, yes, that's red line crossed.
Yeah. The other thing I think about all of this is, and I feel like I'm guessing Bork, you'll probably be in somewhat of agreement with me on this. And I maybe not, Joe. I feel like you might not agree with this, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, it hasn't been as big of an issue on this case, but like, I mean, actually, I think there has been, because we talked about the Kavanaugh thing, and it was like the Democratic Party just like went ape shit over Kavanaugh. And like, yeah, there's been people like calling out Cuomo, a lot of people, but like, there's not this like frenzy of like just people outraged from, you know, the Democratic establishment over this. And it's just kind of back to what Bork was kind of saying earlier. Like this is my biggest criticism of the Democratic Party right now, is I feel like it's very much like do as I say, not as I do type of thing. Like it doesn't apply to me.
So what's the difference? What's the difference what they are saying with Cuomo to what they said with Kavanaugh?
Well, I mean everybody
that Kavanaugh could not be on the Supreme Court based on what he was alleged to have done. And
no, that's not opposed it. That is not why they opposed it. They opposed it because they wouldn't have an investigation about it.
Okay, fine. That's really okay. Fine, whatever. Then that's really into the what were they hoping that an investigation would find?
Hey, this guy's getting accused of sexual harassment and sexual assault, and
what were they hoping that investigation would find?
How's there not a difference there?
Well, so they had an investigation.
Oh, they did.
Did the FBI not conduct an investigation for the Kavanaugh?
Good. They were given 3 days, and basically everybody was like, yeah, this isn't going to be a full investigation, so why are we even trying?
My thing, though, I mean, not to turn this into a Kavanaugh thing, but I guess my thing with that is, like, they interviewed the victim in that case, and she, like, couldn't remember, like, so like, I'm just confused on, like, what an investigation would have, like, if what's up?
Who interviewed her?
She testified before the Senate.
In the Senate?
Yeah.
Sure?
Blasey Ford testified to the Senate, and like they were asking her these questions, and she like couldn't remember like very important like key details of things. Like, I'm not saying she made it up.
She gave names to who was there, and they were going to do an investigation on it, and they wouldn't do the investigation.
Right. No, I mean, I get it. Like, I'm not saying it's a complete apples to apples thing, but I'm like, it's more like with this. I mean, I feel like I don't know, maybe I just haven't been watching the news enough, but I feel like the outrage over it, over this Cuomo thing, is not nearly as big within the Democratic Party as, and it's not just this, it's like, it's COVID and like all the, like a lot of these other things that I'm just like, there's these like holier than thou, like, yep, we know what's best, and we're going to judge you if you don't agree with us, but like, don't judge us if we don't, you know, follow along with what we're saying too. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I didn't like, it's not like whether it be Gavin Newsom in California with going to, you know, these fancy restaurants, or like, I don't know. It's just,
if you're saying that the Democrats, much like the Republicans, grab onto issues cynically to attack their political opponents, then yes, that is exactly what they do. And minimize instances when those happen to apply to their people. Yes, The Democrats do the exact same thing that the Republicans.
I mean, they
would do.
nominated Hillary to be their candidate.
Exactly. If you were the Republicans, like, would you really want Donald Trump like investigated on certain things? No, you wouldn't. Like anything that would make him look bad, because that would hurt your party. Of course not. That would be bad. Like that's just one of those truisms that, of course the Democratic Party is going to protect itself, especially at that level.
The key difference in the two things. No Democrat is out there saying, now let's not have an investigation. You just said Republicans wouldn't want to have an investigation over Trump. You're right. They wouldn't. They would not let it happen. Yeah. I don't understand, but I don't get how that's a big difference.
Well, yeah, Joe Biden's president already. That's why there's no investigation.
No investigation of what?
Well, and any of the sexual allegations against Joe Biden when they were made. That's one instance of it. I'm talking about all of the other things that would be played into of Joe Biden's touchy-feely behavior. Like that is all 100% documented. I feel like maybe that's not okay to say, but I mean, I feel like that's pretty well established amongst people.
I also think it's, I mean, should they have had like an actual investigation for the Kavanaugh thing? Yes, they should have. Do I think had they had the investigation of the Kavanaugh thing and it came back that they couldn't confirm anything, that Democrats would have felt any differently about how they were going to vote on the confirmation hearing? No, absolutely not. But granted, they probably, even if there were never those allegations, they probably weren't going to vote for him anyway. So, I mean, I don't know how much that plays into it or not, but I don't know. I don't know. With Cuomo, we'll see how this plays out. I mean, I would guess this isn't going to be the last allegation. I mean, who knows? But I would be surprised at this point. Like, and maybe he won't resign. I mean, I think it's going to get to a point where I think he's going to have to, but I don't know. We'll see.
It depends if they leave him out on the limb. If they have to cut bait with them, they will, but I don't think they'll have to, probably.
He's not.
Okay. Well, interesting conversation. I think we'll just kind of keep track of that and see what happens with it. But yeah, make sure anybody watching there in the middle of your screen, make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, Moose Club Pod, and then find us on Spotify and Apple podcasts by searching the Moose Club. And then just be on the lookout for our future episodes. So thanks for watching, and we will talk to you soon.